Well, the replica of Takitumu is an interesting vessel. It could be a very long story, but I'll try and cut it as short as possible. I would have built a bigger boat than I did. I built a 60-footer. I would have gone to 70 or 80 foot if I'd known how easy. What bothered me was this tacking to, is a name for it, going where the bow becomes the stern and the stern becomes the bow. And the sail has a mast and everything, and quite a big, weight has to be taken from one side and shaped exactly the same way as it was one side, but going in the other direction, with the outrigger always windward. So that sail is always to leeward. So it passes across to leeward to go to the forward, and that maneuver kept the boat as small as I felt was reasonable. But when it came to doing it, after falling into the water and everything else and the problems, it was a fairly easy maneuver.
What about the steering on that? So did you have two?
You had to carry, you had 2 oars, or you carried the oar. The smaller boats that carried the one oar to the other end, and your sheet was one had to go across, and the boom, the sail inverted as you went across the wind. The sail hung to leeward, the wind's from over there, hung to leeward and reversed itself, and the boom, or the yard, had to go from the one end of the canoe to the other, the lower end of the yard. And it looks a big maneuver, but we managed it. We got down to 14 seconds. We could do this.
America's Cup.
And I told the crew, get down to 6 seconds, we're in the America's Cup.
What about the loading on that steering oar too? Because I would have thought that would have produced huge loads on it.
Yeah, the steering was a problem, but not. You could handle it. We handled it, no problem. And the load wasn't that great any more than the paddle. You see, the reason a boat, this is getting a bit technical, the center of effort of the sail must be forward of the center of resistance in the water of the hull. On these, you must go fairly far forward. That's why the sail had to be reversed, and the mast tilted as it went, so that on the next tack, the sail would be exactly in the same proportion going in the other direction as it was in the other, except one was now in the bow, and the other now becomes a stern. Are you following this?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was a very clever piece of engineering. Hard boat to sail. She inclined to gripe into the wind, and when you come about and the sail's on the wrong side and the outrigger's to leeward, all sorts of funny things happen. You've got to get out of this situation. So you had to be good sailors, to ensure that under tough conditions that never happened.
Takitumu, did you take that down to New Zealand and back? Or
No, I went to New Zealand, to Tahiti. I took it to Tahiti. I took it to around the group here, just close by islands. Then it went to Hawaii and back. So it's a long way to go. That's 2,600 nautical miles from here.
And what about you built or designed and built Te Ao Tonga? What was the reason behind that?
Well, the reason behind that was we needed a canoe that was bigger, and the bigger the safer, and it was easier to handle than this very specialized type of vessel. It was easy to handle with good sailors, but she was liable to go across on the other side. And I used the Tahitian model, which went through the eye of the wind. The Polynesians used every type of sailing. Used going through the eye of the wind. They used turning the bow into stern and stern into bow in every different way that was possible for it to do. They did everything. They used every kind of sail.
With Te Tonga, did you go on a voyage to New Zealand in that one? Or?
Twice. Went twice to New Zealand and went to Tahiti. 3 times she went to Tahiti altogether in that area, and the islands there, and to Hawaii and back. She was very fast. She just outstripped the escort vessel. We had to wait for the escort vessel every day, and it was a nuisance. We were escorting the escort vessel instead of them escorting us. And she got up to 18, 20 knots, the right conditions. And so did the Takitumu, which was the other time went through didn't go through the eye of the wind. She was very fast. Our trip to Hawaii proved her speed. We just had to wait for everybody.
A bit of rain again.